Thank you for tuning in to the Wendy Inspire channel and for joining our Happy BME Village where everyone belongs. So no matter who you are, how you are, or what you are, you're safe here with us, here in our Happy BME Village. Alright guys, it's Special Thursday. It's Special Thursday. And I'm feeling so good today because it is so nice outside. It's getting warm. It's about 52 degrees where I am. And it's really nice to get off from work and it still be daylight. So I haven't really missed an hour of sleep. It feels great and I'm really excited about that. This Thursday, I just want to talk about old school. So for the last few weeks, everybody that I've been interacting with, we've been having great conversations about old school. I just wanted to talk about old school because that was like the best school ever. So I want to just talk about the good old days when you used to catch lightning bugs. And I remember when I was a little kid, little girl, I used to catch lightning bugs and I would put them in the jar and then put the jar on my dresser and kind of go to sleep and watch the lights. Or sometimes I would pull it out of the lightning bug, break it apart and rub it on my face. I don't know why I did that, but if you had fun with your lightning bugs and you smushed all this stuff all over your face, leave a comment below. So that's one thing I loved about old school is I love catching lightning bugs. At night when it got dark, we would catch night crawlers and we would go fishing the next day. And what I loved about catching worms and digging for worms is when we would go fishing, I had literally a stick. I had some fishing line and a little hook on the end, and that was my fishing pole. And when I was done, I would just roll the fishing line around the top and put the hook in there and call it a day. And we would just put the worm on there and we would go down to the creek and we would go fishing. And sometimes I even caught fish. And when we didn't have worms, I would put bread on it. And like, that was just so awesome when I was a kid and I used to do that. What else did I used to do when I was a kid? Oh yeah. So when the street lights came on, that meant it was time to go in the house. It was time to go home. And I'll never forget my older sister, shout out to Roslyn Kelsey. My older sister and I, let's hypothetically say our friend's house was like 15 minutes from our house. And we knew that we had to be home at a specific time. And I remember, so it's 15 minutes away. So our house is 15 minutes away from our friend where we were. So we would be at our friend's house. It would take us 15 minutes to get home, and we would literally wait until it was 5 minutes before curfew, and we would book it. We would run so fast and so hard trying to get home because you better be home before the street lights came on. So that was another thing that I loved about my childhood. Also, when I was a kid, there was no law to wear seatbelts. And we would all just pile up on laps. So if we were going to get ice cream, if we were going out of town and there wasn't enough room in the car, all the little ones would sit on the big one's lap and we would just pile up in the car. We would just go. And everything was just better to me. To me, I think things were better. I remember the old school card catalog. And the funniest thing about this story is when we first transitioned from the paper card catalog to the computer, I went into the library, and this is a true story. So I went to the library and I was talking to the librarian and I said, I'm looking for a book. I need the card catalog. And she showed me, like she kind of motioned to go to the computer. And I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? I want to pull out the wooden drawer and go through the little cards and find the number. And then I want to go find the book. So that's another thing that I really miss and love about old school. You know something else? People had conversations, people looked each other in the eye, people shook hands, children really respected elders. I was actually telling a friend of mine a story about how much weight it carried when you said, my mom said. So if you were at the playground and someone was picking on you and you went home and told your mom says, you better tell little Bobby he better not throw sand in your hair. He better not throw sand in your hair. And then the next day you go out to the playground, you tell little Bobby, my mom said you better not throw sand in my hair. And little Bobby actually listened, like the weight of my mom said or my dad said. Those were some wonderful, wonderful times. And let me see, I wrote some things down just so I don't forget. I remember Jax. I remember hopscotch. I remember kickball. And the fun thing about kickball or baseball or wall ball is we just went outside and we used our imagination. And I remember we would play kickball. So somebody in the neighborhood would find a ball, then we would get some kids together, and then we would make bases with whatever we found. So if we found a piece of cardboard, that can be one base, a tree can be second base, and like the swing set or something would be third base. And we just really opened our mind and used our imaginations. I remember paper dolls. My sister and I would make little dolls out of cardboard, and then we would cut out little clothes with like little hooks on it. We would put the pieces of paper on the outside of the cardboard outline. It was just so wonderful. We didn't lock our doors to our car. We didn't lock our doors to our house. It was truly a community where everybody took care of each other. I just wanted to reminisce, because I've been talking about it with everybody else forever. So I just wanted to share it with the village. So if you have like a old school old school memory that you want to share, if you remember something about the good old days. Matter of fact, I remember like even the TV shows were just wholesome, and they were all about family, and they were all about unity and love and respect. And I watched Little House on the Prairie. I don't know how many of you guys remember that show, but Little House on the Prairie, What's Happening Now, Sanford and Son, Wonder Years. I remember Gem and a Hologram. She like shows over Synergy, or whatever it was. It was just, I had a really awesome childhood, and I really loved the way things used to be. So I absolutely love to reminisce with other people who really enjoyed life, who enjoyed writing letters. When I was in high school, they didn't have cell phones, so we would literally write letters and then pass the notes in the classroom or pass the notes in the hallway. Or if you haven't spoken to your friend in a while, you would literally write them a note and drop it in the mail. So that is just our Thursday special. I just wanted to share how awesome old school upbringing is. And if you want to shout someone out, or if you want to share your old school story, or you want to share your old school memory, make sure you leave it in a comment below, because there is no school like the old school. So thank you for tuning in to the Wendy Inspired channel, and for joining our Happy BME Village, where everyone belongs. So no matter who you are, how you are, or what you are, you're safe here with us here in our Happy BME Village. And I will see you next time this weekend on the Wendy Inspired channel. Make it a great day.